Do you guys remember the prison video? We did a story on this, a complete video talking about the new report by Wired that it was missing a minute. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Well, guess what? There's a brand new live breaking news report right now that just came out that shows that. So before they said it was stitched together, that raw video was stitched together in Adobe Premiere from two files. Now they're saying, quote, further analysis shows that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than the segment included in the final video, indicating that footage appears to have been trimmed before release. Oh my goodness, this case just gets nuttier and nuttier and nuttier. Oh, please, President Trump, you've got to have a press conference. This all has to come out. The file was actually edited and saved several times over a period of more than 3.5 hours on May 23rd, 2025. Both analyses found that the two clips labeled, quote, 2025 522 16 35 24, which is an MP4 file, and, quote, 2025 522 21 12 48 point MP4, end quote, were stitched together. The first clip is 4 hours, 19 minutes, and 16 seconds long, but only the first 4 hours, 16 minutes, and 23.368 seconds appear in the published version, meaning nearly 2 minutes and 53 seconds were cut from the end according to the metadata. The cut occurs just at the hour of 11, the minute at 58, the second at 58 p.m. 11:58, 58 p.m. Holy macadamian nut. But wait, there's more. You guys know me. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but doing a lot of my own qualitative and quantitative diligence and research and digging stuff up. Look at this post the day after they said that Epstein self-deleted himself by an anonymous source who sounds like they worked at the actual penitentiary that Epstein supposedly did the deed. It's posted by an anonymous person on August 10th, 2019, on a Saturday, I believe this is early in the morning. And listen to this. Not saying anything after this. Please do not try to dox me. But last night after 0415 count, they took him in medical in a wheelchair, front cuffed, him being Epstein. But not one triage nurse says they spoke to him. Again, him is Epstein. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and himself, I can't say it, otherwise they're going to delete the video. By the way, let me know that you're watching this and this video is not being deleted. I'm not wasting my breath. Just comment right now, here. Just say here, like you're here, like I know you're watching this. Holy mackerel. Here's the thing. The trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number. And a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. I'm getting goosebumps just reading this last sentence. My hair is rising. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It just gets crazy. But now it's just snowballing. It's snowballing into more chaos. By the way, they interviewed Pam Bondi today, asking her about the rift between, the DOJ and FBI. And she said, I don't comment on personal matters. What? Excuse me, Pam Bondi, but you actually work for us. You're a public servant. You're appointed Attorney General of the United States. You work for the government, which is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Allegedly, you work for us. Yes, you need to answer for all that. There's nothing personal. If there's a rift or something going on, and maybe, who knows, Maybe this is why Dan Bongino and Patel is so pissed off and upset. Maybe the video footage, maybe everything that's being uncovered right now. The fact that now Laura Trump is saying there are more files. The fact that now you've got all these members of Congress pressuring Mike Lee, Speaker Johnson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tim Burchett. They're all saying, no, you need to release this, pressuring now the administration and Pam Bondi and the intelligence community. You need to release this. You need to release everything. It's just getting insane. What is going on here? I'm going to play for you a clip of Trump actually saying this earlier today. This was earlier today. But first, I have to share with you this. Dershowitz. Remember Dershowitz saying, I've seen the actual list. I've seen it. Well, now he says there is no list. I'm going to show this clip to you as well as Trump's, and then stick around to the end. I've got something really mystifying and powerful. Eric Weinstein, one of the famous Harvard mathematics, physics, astrophysics. A lot of people know him. You probably know him. I know him. He's a super smart guy, super science guy, super physics guy. Wait till you hear what he says about Jeffrey Epstein and meeting him. It's going to twist your wig. I'm telling you right now. But first, listen to Dershowitz now completely change his tune.
No, there is no client list. There never has been a client list. A client list suggests that Jeffrey Epstein made a list of people to whom he trafficked women. What there is a redacted FBI affidavit from accusers, and there are several of them, from accusers that accuse Jeffrey, that accuse various people of having improper sex. And that has been redacted. The names of the people accused have been blacked out. Now, of course, because I was the lawyer and I did all the investigations, I know who all these people are. I could figure out, based on everything that I saw, who Mr. X is, Mr. Y is, and Mr. Z. I can tell you right now, none of them are public figures who are currently in office. Some of them were previously in office. Some of them are dead. But there is no client list. And the redactions could be undone if you go to court. So many of the things that are being suppressed by two judges in Manhattan. And they're doing it largely to protect the alleged accusers who are, in the view of the judges, victims, even though we don't know what their actual status is. But the judges have issued orders, which is why I can't disclose things I'd love to disclose, saying that you can't disclose this information. But Pam Bondi and the Justice Department and Donald Trump are not responsible for that. I don't know of any information that they could disclose that they haven't disclosed.
No, there is no list now. Now there's no list. This is the guy who literally, I just did a video a couple of days ago saying, I've seen the list. I know who it is. He even said that it's top Democrats that are on there. And now all of a sudden he's changed his tune. What's going on? What do you mean all of a sudden you've changed your tune? And then Trump asked very specifically about the Epstein list. You remember he got really upset at his cabinet meeting saying, why are we still talking about this guy? Nobody cares. Obviously, it seems like his base, us, a lot of us, said, no. I think somebody's ill-advising him. I said that in my video. I don't think it's him. Somebody told him, and God knows who that is, that, nobody cares about this. But that's absolutely not true. We all care about this because nobody cares about Epstein per se. We care about these cretins, these demonic heathens who are still out there, still at large, who have done awful things, robbing kids of their innocence that they can never get back. Watch him now, asked by a reporter, say this about the Epstein files. Watch.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well. and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. President, I love you to death, but she is not handling this well. If anything, she has handled this anything but well. She has done an atrocious job from day one with throwing out those binders and saying we have all these documents, saying it's on my desk, saying we're going to release it tomorrow at Friday at 8 a.m. Remember that? It's been an absolute abysmal job. You need to get rid of her like ASAP. I don't trust her. I don't think anybody can trust her. I think this is going to loom a dark shadow over this Justice Department for sure, but even your administration for the remaining of your term. Everybody's going to keep talking about this until something is done that is conclusive. You've got the GOP head of the House committee, James Comer. You've got Mike Lee. You've got all Burchett, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the speaker, all saying, you know what? Let's have Ghislaine Maxwell testify. I want to hear what she has to say. I actually think that is probably going to happen. I think Trump, who is reasonable, smart, I still think he's got so many problems that he's trying to tackle. This is the last thing he wants to deal with or probably even knows about. I really, really believe that in my heart. I think the Justice Department, I think Bondi has been stringing him along and saying all sorts of loads of BS, just like they've been doing to the American public. And so I actually think if Speaker Johnson and the rest of the leadership sit down with Trump, forget about Pam Bondi, forget about Bongino and Patel, just sit down and say, like, dude, this has to happen. Our constituents, our base, everybody wants it. We want it. We all want it. You got radical transparency. That's what got you this far. Let her speak. As a matter of fact, comment right now because the White House watches this. The staff watches it. Caroline Leavitt, let them know. Say, let her speak right now in the comments. Let her speak. I know I want to hear what she has to say. Don't you? And then last but not least, holy mackerel. Oh, I'm getting all verklempt. This is craziness. It's just craziness. All this stuff that just keeps coming up and it's snowballing. This is an interview with Eric Weinstein, famed mathematics, a Harvard mathematics professor, physics extraordinaire. I don't even know how to set this clip up, but I would highly recommend that you watch it very, very carefully. It blew my mind, and I think it's going to blow yours too. Watch.
Jeffrey Epstein conducted a conference called Confronting Gravity. I don't know who Jeffrey Epstein was, but I would certainly bet money that he was a product of at least one or more elements of the intelligence community.
The CIA, the FBI.
Those are ours, right? Department of Homeland Security has some of this stuff. Geospatial intelligence has some of this. You know, it's a large network. I'm talking about people like David Grush. I'm talking about people potentially like David Fravor. I'm talking about people like Jake Barber. I'm talking about scientists like Leo Szilard. Imagine if Leo Szilard didn't know that the Manhattan Project was going on, or Jack Raper, a journalist who broke a story. These people all think that they're doing their jobs. I desperately want to know why Jeffrey Epstein knew so much about my work. And I want to know why he was connected to my graduate program. I was in the Harvard mathematics department. Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely connected to the Harvard math department. I want to know why.
How was he connected to that department?
You're pushing me to say things I'm not going to say. But
well,
I don't mind.
I'm curious. I'm not trying to push you out.
I understand, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm saying that anybody who wants to...
You said he was connected to the math department?
To the Harvard mathematics department.
How did you know he was connected?
You can Google it. You could Google it right now. This is not... I can point at all sorts of stuff that's hidden in plain sight.
So I'll take your word for it. And the assertion that I'm picking up on is that Jeffrey Epstein was planted in your world to keep...
I'm not saying he's planted. I don't know who he was. I don't know who ran him. He certainly was not a financier in any standard sense.
Really?
That was a cover story, yes.
The way that we know Jeffrey Epstein, in the UK especially, is just this guy who was this rich guy who had this island, who brought people there and then did these despicable things there.
Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's the story.
Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. It's called perseveration. He was a disgraced financier. What kind of a financier? A disgraced one. What was his name? Oh, he was disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. They perseverate that into your mind so that you auto-complete that in your LLM life. Do you believe that that's what Jeffrey Epstein was?
You met him.
Yeah. I can tell that
financier?
He wasn't a financier the day I met him.
What was he?
He was a weird guy who didn't seem to know a lot about currency trading, claiming to run a multi-billion-dollar FX hedge fund.
When you say a weird guy, what made him weird?
Same stuff I've said on Chris Williams. I'm not going to go back through that. Just my point is you're getting a different interview, right? Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to get at is Jeffrey Epstein knew a tremendous amount about my work when nobody knew anything about my work. And he had a pipeline into me that I didn't understand, which is that he was connected to my graduate program. And you can check out the conference called Exploring Gravity.
And hosted physical workshop called Confronting Gravity.
Confronting Gravity, that's right.
In March 2006.
Yeah, what is Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein is very focused on gravity.
Was it a gravity conference?
Yeah.
It was about gravity?
Yeah.
What the fuck was he doing talking about bloody gravity if he's a financier?
It was very important to get Nobel laureates and some of the smartest people on Earth to come to the Virgin Islands and talk about gravity. Stephen Hawking was there, David Gross was there, Lawrence Krauss was there, Lisa Randall was there, right before his conviction. And I'm telling you, he was very focused on the Harvard math department, and he knew all about me in ways that he wasn't supposed to. Jeffrey Epstein, apparently, I think I'll tell you what I said. When I met him, when the meeting was over, I immediately called my wife, and I said, I have just met a construct. She said, what do you mean? I said, this person is not who they claim to be. Somebody has constructed this human being to be something that they are not, which is a hedge fund genius. Somebody who could understand the euro and the yen like nobody else. Bullshit. Not true. I believe that whoever constructed Jeffrey Epstein was running multiple different programs through the same thing, having put in a large initial investment. It wasn't about one thing. If you build a mall, you don't just have clothing stores in the mall, you have a food court in the mall, right? You have jewelry in the mall. You have all sorts of different things in the mall. Jeffrey Epstein was a construct of something that was running multiple things. One of those things was science. And I don't think that the science and the pedophilia were necessarily in the same bucket. He was funding all sorts of people. I don't think everybody at that, part of the problem with calling his plane the Lolita Express and calling his island Pedophile Island is that you just can't see all the different things that were going through this guy. I don't think almost any of those scientists are exposed, maybe a few of them, but very few of them, to anything really horrible. I think he was trying to keep a periscope on everything that was interesting. And I think that his girlfriend's father, Robert Maxwell, was all through scientific publishing. And I think Pergamon Press was, in part, a control mechanism for making sure that revolutionary discoveries were taking place within a framework. Anybody can, look, you can write a Substack article and you can hit post, and suddenly the world has access to your Substack article. That is a nightmare. What if somebody posts, weaponized anthrax? What if they do the equivalent of saying, what if there's a neutral proton?
So you think he was controlling science?
I think that Robert Maxwell was in part trying to control science. I think Jeffrey Epstein was in part trying to fund science, trying to control it. I don't really know.
Woo! So that's a lot to absorb right there. And by the way, really quickly, before I tell you about that interview with Eric Weinstein, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was this huge British media tycoon, almost like the kind of equivalent to, somebody like a William Randolph Hearst for a, I don't know, maybe that's not the best analogy, or Jeff Bezos, Washington Post. Anyway, he was a huge British media tycoon. And, Eric Weinstein, he's been on a lot of podcasts. He's been on Rogan. I want to kind of play devil's advocate here. I think he's pretty good at self-promotion for a scientist. And I think he's really good at drawing a lot of attention his way. But I don't think that he would just be saying these things, because I do think that he's smart enough to know that his ethos and credibility could be shattered if any of this stuff just seemed like a bunch of hokum. But it's super, super interesting. Who was this guy? What was he doing? Who was he connected with? I don't know if we're ever going to find out. Do you? By the way, that interview was taken from Diary of a CEO. Highly recommend you go listen to the full interview. It's phenomenal. Please tap that thumbs up. Let me know what you think. I'm going to keep you abreast of everything else that comes out as they happen, as I always do. It doesn't take you less than a second to do it. Tap the thumbs up. It helps us out immeasurably if you don't mind. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, including my entire playlist. Make sure you tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.